presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
And Braun to watch that one fly. Back-to-back home runs. Chris Bryant goes deep. And it is gone. Ryan Braun knocks one out of here. And he's in there with a leadoff triple. It is a fair ball. A home run for Neuenhuis. It's looking like a beautiful Tuesday for baseball. Chicago, Illinois. Beautiful downtown setting, and not too far from there, we are at Wrigley Field on the north side. How about Ernie Banks? He'd love a day like this, right? We're going to play two today. Day-night doubleheader, the Brewers and the Cubs. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Wrigley Field, Chicago. Great to have you with us alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Craig Cashon in just a moment. Well, because of the doubleheader, the Brewers made some roster moves. You get to add a player as well to this mix. So, Rock, this is going to be an interesting time for a couple of players who are going to get their chance in the big leagues right now.
Yeah, Tyler Cravey added the 26th guy, and he's a long man. He's made some starts down in the minor leagues. Numbers not all that great, but you have to consider where he was pitching, AAA Colorado Springs. So he gets to stay because of the doubleheader. It's just a one-day deal for Tyler Cravey, you would think. But Michael Blazek, he continues to have some issues with that arm. He's just not pitching all that well. You can tell that there's something going on with him. But looking forward to seeing Magnifico, the closer down in the minor leagues. 17 saves down in Colorado Springs. They say he's got a big arm, making his major league debut, and it's going to be interesting to see him come in. And this is going to be a great opportunity for a lot of these young Brewers. This is going to be a big-time atmosphere. The Cubs, arguably the best team in baseball. This Wrigley Field is going to be rocking and rolling. So I think a lot of these young players for the Brewers, this is going to be a great test for them, and they're going to learn a lot in this series.
All right, well, let's bring in the third member of our team today, Craig Cashon. He's standing by down below, and I know you had a chance to visit with the Brewers manager before the game, Craig.
That's right, guys. Always a challenge on these double headers. They're rare for this team, of course, because of the Miller Park roof. Don't have to deal with it at home, but maybe especially challenging here at Wrigley Field, the day-night doubleheader. There might be a couple of hours to burn in between games. Really nowhere to go in the league's smallest clubhouse either. But really, it's all about dealing with game one and game two. How you shuffle the lineup, how you work the bullpen. You guys mentioned Tyler Cravey is going to be able to give him a little bit of boost with that 26 man. Here's Craig Counsell's take on managing today's doubleheader.
It's just a long day, so you just try to keep, you try to keep it light while keeping everybody's concentration level where it's supposed to be. So. It's a longer period today where you kind of have that switch turned on, and so you gotta, between games, you certainly definitely try to turn it off to retain that energy and concentration level to turn it back on again for some of these guys.
Always challenges. You have to deal with the weather as well, and we're expecting it to be a dry day and evening here in Chicago. So far, so good. We're getting closer to first pitch here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Jeff and Davey are coming back to talk more about the first place Cubs. Some significant numbers they have been putting up all season long as they have controlled the National League Central. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards and all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. It does not get any better than this for baseball in Chicago. The Brewers and Cubs, the first of a day-night doubleheader. We've got clear skies here for Game 1, and Matt Garza on the hill, 2-0 in August against Trevor Cahill. Just activated off the disabled list. Prior to that, made 33 relief appearances for the Chicago Cubs, so he gets his first start of 2016. Hi, everybody. Craig Kashan back on the broadcast with you. And Matt Garza, just like this day-night doubleheader, has had a day-night last 2 months, if you will, to his season. A forgetful July where he won only one game, but so far in August, 2-0 with a 2.92 ERA in 3 starts. So he's really cranking it out nicely. Matt Garza back on track, maybe pitching the best he has in a Brewer uniform in his tenure so far. And he told me it's all started, that success, with that breaking ball.
Got the feeling back for it, and you know, it's something that I haven't had in a couple of years. You know, kind of just been rolling through it, and now I got actually a snap on it, which is awesome. It helps me use my fastball more effectively, and you know, lets me get hitters off my fastball also. You know, I also got other off speed too that's improved, but I think a lot had to come with, you know, when I came back, I came back playing catch up, and that was my mentality, and completely wrong mentality. It should have been take what you got, go get the job done, and let it all build. So.
How difficult is that to weather that storm and still believe in yourself that you're going to be able to make the pitches that you need to make, Matt?
It was tough, you know, given from last year to the way my body felt to this year, and you know, having to deal with that lat strain right after spring when everything was going great. It was tough mentally. I had to really grind through it and say, you know, keep believing in myself and just be around the guys. You know, let their youthful energy just kind of run with me and motivate me to get back in a hurry, and it did. And you know, like I said, I sprinted back and I got what I deserved. You know, I had to pay my dues and get everything back to right where it needs to be, and I'm back to where I want to be. You know, I'm still getting better, still progressing, and I'm just excited, looking forward.
All right, he's pitching against his old team here today, and the I-94 rivalry is renewed. The Brewers haven't been here since April. Now it's time to play 2. Enjoy it, everybody.
Today's game on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. What a beautiful day for baseball at Wrigley Field, Chicago. And the Brewers and the Cubs ready to start a 4-game series, the first of a doubleheader today. Day-night doubleheader from Wrigley. We'll be back at you at 6:30 later tonight for the second edition of Brewers Live pregame show. 79 degrees here at Wrigley Field. Going back to May 17th. Chase Anderson pitched very well against the Chicago Cubs. Took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. That was a series the Brewers felt like they could have swept in May against the Chicago Cubs. Cubs did get the middle one, but the Brewers took 2 out of 3 in that one, and then they matched up again at Miller Park just a month ago, a little less than a month ago in late July. And now the Brewers are returning to Miller Park for the first time since late April. Cubs this year are 5-3 over the Brewers on the season schedule. They'll play 19 games when it's all said and done this year. We're going to see a lot of the Chicago Cubs. Craig Counsell recognizing this is a great opportunity for some of his young players to experience this environment, and they'll have sellout crowds for both of these games of the doubleheader today. Here's the batting order for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's courtesy of Potawatomi. Jonathan Villar will lead off. Orlando Arcia hits second, then Scooter Gennett. No Ryan Braun in the lineup in game 1. Chris Carter, Hernan Perez, and Kirk Neuenhuis in the middle. Keon Broxton, Manny Pena, and Matt Garza will round out the starting 9. And Trevor Cahill is on the mound rock for the Cubs, coming off the disabled list. He's been down in AAA, starting games down there in preparation for this opportunity today.
Yeah, and he's the 26th guy. Every team in a doubleheader gets to add an extra player on the roster as opposed to the 25. Missed 28 games on the disabled list, making his first start of the year. 33 appearances, all out of the bullpen. Very good numbers, a 307 earned run average. And he's been with the A's, the Diamondbacks. He spent a little time with the Braves and now the Cubs.
Cahill went on the disabled list with tendonitis in the knee, the right knee, and wasn't out long, and then he went to AAA on a rehab assignment, made 6 starts, and the Cubs have him in the starting rotation today as he deals strike 1 to Jonathan Villar, and away we go from Wrigley. Now the Brewers come in with a record of 52-64. Milwaukee winning their final game of that series against the Reds on Sunday. Both teams had yesterday off as Villar spanks one through the middle, a base hit, and a lead single for the Brewers leadoff hitter.
Yeah, let's check out the Menards Cubs defense. A pretty good defensive unit, tied for 5th best in the National League. They've committed only 66 errors. Coghlan, Fowler, and Hayward in the outfield. Got Chris Bryant, Addison Russell on the left side, Zobrist and Rizzo on the right side, and Miguel Montero, behind home plate in game 1 here today.
Got 2 MVP candidates in Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, both putting up monster numbers this season. First trip to Wrigley Field for Orlando Arcia. Well, he's excited to be on a stage like this. Arcia has been playing well. His batting average is only at 184, but he's actually been swinging the bat pretty well. You think about as Villar's picked off first base.
Oh boy, not a good way to start. Cahill with a quick move over to first base. Villar thinks he's out. That's a perfect throw, and a little bit of a high tag by Rizzo, but Villar thinks he's out.
They'll take a look at this.
They just can't make mistakes like that. Against a team like the Cubs, just can't.
And no challenge for Craig Counsell. Call is correct. And that's the only blemish in Villar's game right now. He gets picked off and thrown out way too much. Everything else is solid. And he looks like a guy that's going to be a part of the Brewers' future, the way he swung the bat, his power, extra base hits. But for whatever reason, he can't get it in his mind that his lead is a little too long, and pitchers are having a field day with him at first base. A pop-up. And Rizzo will give way to Zobrist in foul territory, and quickly 2 outs in this first inning. 4-man umpiring crew in place. They'll rotate for the night game. Carlos Torres will call the balls and strikes. Tom Woodring. Jerry Davis is the crew chief. He's out at second base. There's Jerry. And Rob Drake is over at third. Sets up a potential Carlos Torres on the mound and Carlos Torres behind the plate as the umpire. No relation. 2 outs. Here's Jeanette. Hits third today.
And no Ryan Braun in the starting lineup. You figure he's going to be in the lineup in game 2.
Biggest question the Brewers had today: what do you do in the 3 or 4 hours between games? You can't really leave the Wrigleyville area. You might not make it back.
Yeah, right. It's going to be packed out there.
As Jeanette fouls one away.
Group of fans going out, group of fans coming in.
Right, right.
Double trouble out there in Wrigleyville.
Yeah, and the Wrigleyville area is always crowded anyway. It's a great spot to hang out, especially on a day like this. It is just beautiful. Beautiful weather today.
Do you have any plans?
Yeah, I figured you and I ought to head out and go stroll on the rooftops a little bit after the game. See if we can drum up a little tailgate action or some barbecue.
Just jump from one to the next.
Yeah. See if we have any friends out there that wouldn't mind feeding us between games. That's what I'm talking about. That's our guy. That's target number 1 for us.
Yeah, he looks hot. He has to move away.
That's good grill analysis right there, Rock. You knew exactly what he was doing there. Well done.
Yeah.
2-2 the count on Jeanette. And down he goes. Promising start, but a pickoff at first and a 3-batter inning for Cahill. Now it's Matt Garza's turn. Bottom of the first, Matt Garza on the mound for the Brewers this afternoon in the first game of this doubleheader. And Joe Maddon and the Cubs come in with the league's best record. 73 up, 43 down. They're 12 up on the Cardinals. They lost to St. Louis here Sunday. Big comeback win for St. Louis, scoring 5 runs in the 8th inning. And here's how Maddon's lineup looks today, courtesy of Potawatomi, with Dexter Fowler, Bryant, and Rizzo. In the middle it goes Zobrist, Russell, and Coghlan. And then Hayward, Montero, and Cahill rounded out. They got Coghlan back from the Athletics. He was with Chicago and returns right back into the mix. So that's the starting 9 that will face Matt Garza. He's been pitching well in the month of August.
Hey, he's won 3 in a row. I mean, only giving up 5 earned runs in his last 17 and a third innings. making his 7th start against his old team, the Cubs. He's 1-3 and 0-2 as a visitor here at Wrigley Field.
Dexter Fowler leads off for Chicago, and he shows bunt. There's a strike. Oh, Garza's pitching so well, as a matter of fact, that his name is starting to surface a little bit in some of the waiver wire trade discussions. Teams that are looking for a starting pitcher, and Garza might be an option for one of those teams. Coming back from an injury, he missed the first 2 months of the season with a lat injury, and he told Craig Cashon that when he first came back, he was just trying to play catch up, didn't quite have all of his stuff together, just had 3 minor league starts, and maybe wasn't fully ready to start a season, but he felt like he had missed enough time. He's the highest paid Brewers pitcher, and I think he felt the obligation to get back and get into the rotation for the Brewers, and maybe wasn't quite ready. He was trying to play catch up. Yeah, but that's all changed in August.
Yeah, which is understandable. I mean, he's been throwing the baseball well, and he said in his own words, his curveball, his off-speed stuff very good. And what you've noticed with Garza, really establishing fastball in quite a bit, really setting up the off-speed for him. Fastball in, the slider, the curveball to right-handers away. Been much better as of late. Of course, his last 2 starts, the Brewers have provided a lot of run support. 26 runs in his last 2 starts.
Fowler fouls it away, stays alive. Count remains at 2-2.
Yeah, Brewers in his last 2 starts have put up 15 runs and 11 when Garza's out there on the mound. That makes it a little bit easier to get your job done out there on the bump.
A lot of ties with the Cubs and Joe Maddon. Garza pitched for Joe Maddon in Tampa Bay, and of course he spent parts of 3 seasons with the Cubs. They traded him to the Rangers in 2013. They're still reaping the rewards of that trade in 2013. Got a number of pieces back from the Texas Rangers that season, including one of their relievers, Carl Edwards, who's pitching well, and Justin Grimm. Fowler rips one through the shift, a base hit. Among league leaders in on-base percentage, Dexter Fowler, and he is aboard to start it for the Cubs in the first.
Yep, got a full count and a fastball that he hit hard. Let's check out the Brewers' Menards defense. Oh, no Ryan Braun, so Neuenhuis gets a start out in the left field. Broxton Perez round out the outfield. VR, Arcia, Jeanette, and Carter from 3rd to 1st, and Manny Pena making his 2nd consecutive start. He started on Sunday against the Braves. I should say the Reds.
Neuenhuis filling in for Braun in left. Braun is available for pinch hitting duties in this first inning, or in this first game, I should say. A man on here is Chris Bryant. And on the first pitch, a liner right to VR. Gets the out at 2nd. Bryant will reach. VR knocked it down and is able to get the lead out at second base. Bryant hit that like a bullet.
Yeah, back-to-back pitches from Garza hit like a rocket. Yeah, it looked like VR, if he catches it, he might be able to double off Fowler, but he did get the lead out.
So 1 away. Put out goes 5-4. And here comes Anthony Rizzo. You can hear Wrigley Field is jumping these days.
Yeah.
It's got that playoff buzz about it. I did the postseason series with the Cardinals last year. I've never heard it louder at Wrigley Field than last season, and it's got that feel once again. Crowd still filing in for this game 1.
Yeah, they're used to seeing a lot of wins. The Cubs are 41-19 at home this year. Incredible home record. Of course, not too bad on the road either.
Brewers have not been here to Wrigley since late April, and it was a rainout postponement early that forced this doubleheader today.
It was a cold, wet 3 games or 3 days in Chicago in late April. Even the game that the Brewers got in, the 2 games were cold and wet.
Rizzo, a swing and a miss. Mentioned Bryant and Rizzo are serious MVP candidates right now. You just wonder if they'll cancel each other out with a significant number of votes. We saw that a lot in the years with the Cardinals with their pitching staff and the Cy Young Award with Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright. A lot of times that can happen when you have two players putting up these kind of numbers, and it's hard to say who's more valuable to the Cubs, Rizzo or Bryant. Rizzo is a far superior defender than Bryant, but Bryant gives Joe Maddon a ton of versatility where he can play multiple positions and yet put up the massive offensive numbers like he has.
Yeah. Well, you talk to the folks around this ball club, they say the one guy they can ill afford to be without is the guy at the plate right now, Anthony Rizzo. A lot of the success, or some of the success that Bryant has had, is due to the fact that Rizzo is behind him in the batting order.
Well, and all those RBIs Rizzo has, and he is their club leader right now, would have something to do with Bryant hitting ahead of him and being on base as much as he is.
Yep.
Both have high batting averages. Big home run years, each on pace for 30. That's a two-strike base hit. And on his way to third goes Bryant. Anthony Rizzo with a single. And Garza not fooling anybody early in this one.
Yeah, nice easy swing for Rizzo on a 2-2 count. And just punches it out there into center field. And you see, not trying to do too much, standing right on top of home plate. Anything away that Rizzo is like, you know, down the middle to everybody else. And Garza in trouble in the first.
Garza's first start against his old team, the Cubs. And his old teammate, Ben Zobrist, will step in with runners at the corners. These two were together with the Tampa Bay Rays. Part of that breakthrough 2008 World Series team with the Rays. Matter of fact, Garza in 08 was the ALCS MVP for that club under Joe Maddon. That was the year Tampa Bay lost to the Phillies in the World Series. And they're all connected that way. Joe Maddon always liked Matt Garza, always felt like he was a good guy to have around, a great teammate. Garza's #1 goal is to try to keep things calm as possible for as long as you can, because this place can get rowdy fast.
Yeah, keep the crowd out of it as long as you can.
One man out, 2-0 the count on Zobrist. He's having a nice year as well, hitting .275. Has 13 home runs. There's a strike. 2-1.
Yeah, a lot of bouncing around with those hands until Garza's on his way to home plate. Then everything quiets down. And
Garza's career numbers against the Cubs aren't bad. Only one win, but an ERA of 4.14. This is his 7th start against Chicago in his career. Garza won his first road game in his last road start. That was against the Arizona Diamondbacks. First time he had picked up a win on the road this season. Started the season with a victory, his first decision on June 25th. And then he lost 4 straight decisions. Now he's won 3 consecutive decisions. So after all of that, it puts him at 4-4 with a .483 earned run average. And a lot of that ERA is coming from his poor month of June, or rather July. Earned run average was .661 in July, but he's answered that well in the month of August.
And worst start of the year came against the Nationals on July 6th. 7 earned runs and 4 1/3.
Runner goes, and ball 4. And the bases are loaded. The only out recorded thus far, a line drive by Bryant to third. Villar knocked it down and made a play at second base. But it's been an inning of success already for the Cubs. There's still a chance to get out of this with no runs. But his first inning troubles are showing up again here at Wrigley. Addison Russell will step in now with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yeah, how about a shortstop with 71 RBIs? That tells you how much the guys in front of him are getting on base. Amazing numbers for Russell.
Russell with 14 home runs. And a wave and a miss. First pitch breaking ball from Garza. Last year, Russell hit 9th a lot for Joe Madden. That was Madden's way of protecting the rookie. But he has elevated his game to the point where Madden is comfortable hitting him wherever in the lineup. And today he's batting 5th. Pop up, foul territory. Carter will give that a look. That'll be in the seats. And the count is 0-2.
We have 3 guys in this Cubs roster with 70 or more RBIs. Rizzo leads the pack with 85. Then Bryant, and then Russell. When you think of the Cubs, you don't think of Addison Russell as being a big run producer, but he is.
Garza's trying to get a double play ball out of him here to get out of this first inning. In the air to left, little jam shot. And coming in is Neuenhuis. He's got it. Tagging is Bryant. Throw comes in. And Bryant's in there. Snap throw to second. Safe there. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Addison Russell. And the Cubs strike first today, 1-0.
Well, if Garza can limit the damage to that 1 run, I think he'd be happy. Got in on the hands of Russell. Another RBI for the Cubs shortstop, but I think the Brewers would take that. I mean, Neuenhuis showing a good arm into home plate, a good throw into Pena, making it close.
Bryant has excellent speed and scores the run. There's Chris Coghlan now. Now Garza has had his troubles in the first inning this season. His first inning ERA is at 7.36. And the Cubs are on the board in the first. By the way, for Russell, that is RBI number 16 in his last 17 games, as he has 72 for the season now. Coghlan trying to bunt his way on. We saw Coghlan in Oakland this season. He made 46 starts for the A's. And that's a little cue shot, foul. Pena was trying to get to it before it rolled foul.
Yeah, another very versatile piece to the puzzle for Joe Madden. This guy can play anywhere. Coghlan, infield, outfield, does a pretty good job no matter where they put him. You got Ben Zobrist that can do that. You got Chris Bryant, infield, outfield, and doesn't seem to matter where Joe Madden puts anybody. They continue to hit.
Coghlan had a couple of years here in Chicago before he went to the A's this season. Was on the Cubs postseason roster last season. And their run to the NLCS. They lost to the Mets in the NLCS. Up and in it goes. .25 pitches in the inning for Garza. Tough way to start a long day at Wrigley Field.
It won't be so bad if he only gives up the 1 run.
2 on, 2 out. Russell with the sac fly and the RBI. And the 1-2 to Coghlan. Cubs traded for Coghlan. That was in early June. Gave up Arizmendi Alcantara. It's a better way to say that. I beg your pardon. And I'm sure it was like old home week for Coghlan. Except he came back to a brand new Cubs clubhouse here at Wrigley, which is spectacular, by the way. I had a chance to see that a few weeks ago. I had not been in there yet this season. It's impressive.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
It's like the greatest nightclub / man cave you've ever seen in your life.
And then you have the visitors clubhouse,
which is the worst.
The way it was when Hack Wilson was here. I don't even think they changed the carpet out.
No, I think it's the same. It's got Hack Wilson's little tiny 5.5 foot shoe print in there, I think. 7 foul balls this inning by Cubs hitters, and finally one in play. And Arcia will go across the diamond for the out. Well, after all of that, it's a high pitch inning for Garza, but only surrenders 1. We go to the second. Being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at seas. We welcome all of you watching in today. We thank each and every one of you for your service to our country. Beautiful day at Wrigley. The wind is blowing in. There's a little hint of fall in the breeze today. It's a perfect day for baseball. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Trevor Cahill back to work. Had a long pause between his innings as Garza has his troubles in the first, but only surrenders the 1 run, giving up 2 hits and a walk. Chris Carter leads off. He'll be followed by Perez and then Nieuwenhuis. Now you wonder how many innings the Cubs are hoping for out of Trevor Cahill today. He did make 6 starts at AAA, but the longest start he made was 4 innings. He was actually pitching in a rehab setting in AAA.
And you get 5-6 innings out of him, maybe 5, and then you get into your bullpen. Extra man on hand for both teams. You know, both teams electing to bring up pitchers as their 26th player. Can do that in a doubleheader scenario, but it's only for 1 day.
Brewers put Michael Blazek on the disabled list. If you're just joining us, he went on the DL out of the Brewers bullpen. Damian Magnifico has been called up to the big leagues. Right off the end of the bat, right out to Zobrist, and there's out number 1. So when you play a doubleheader in the major leagues, as of a few years ago, you're able to add that 26 man, and that's how you designate that player. Tyler Cravey is that guy coming up from AAA Colorado Springs. He'll be available for both games today. And Rockford, Damian Magnifico, he's been the AAA closer, and when he does pitch, it'll be his major league debut.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch him here at Wrigley Field. And an incredible setting for a young player to make his first ever appearance. And yeah, 17 saves down in the minor leagues for Magnifico, and he throws hard. The key is for him to be able to throw strikes. He walked a fair amount.
See Magnifico wearing number 51. I'm not sure I've seen a player wear 51 since Trevor Hoffman wore that number. Perez on the ground, backhanded Russell, long throw. Boy, this guy is something else. He makes plays every day. And he takes a hit away from Hernan Perez. That is silky smooth.
Yeah, watch him go down on one knee just to make sure he's going to be able to get down and play that hop, and has enough arm to get Perez at first base by half a step. 10 errors for Addison Russell at shortstop. Not too bad at this point in the season. Cubs play good defense along with everything else that they do.
Here's Kirk Neuenhuis now.
Now getting back to the roster, we feel bad for Michael Blazer. You could tell that in his last few appearances, he just has not been right. He hasn't had that same breaking pitch. The velocity's been down, and the second time he's been on the DL.
Neuenhuis with a base hit. And a single for Neuenhuis, second hit of the game. But Magnifico will certainly have his chance here in the big leagues. Craig Kashawn is with us, and he had a chance to catch up with Damian at his first experience in the big leagues.
Yeah, for sure. He says he's very excited to be here. I think the biggest thing for him, he said there's a certain comfort level because there's so many guys in this roster that he's played with this year at Colorado Springs. So that comfort level is there. And I said, well, what about coming here to Wrigley to make potentially your major league debut? And he said, well, it's really cool, but he said this stadium's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. But, you know, bottom line is this guy's confident and ready to go. And Craig Counsell talked before the game, too, about they were thinking about bringing him up earlier this year, but we're glad that they waited till now. They thought he's really developed along nicely at AAA.
Now 17 saves at Colorado Springs, was the closer in AA in Biloxi last year. Had a 20-save season. He's proven he can do the job. He still has a lot of walks per 9 innings, but I think everything is with a grain of salt when you're coming from AAA Colorado Springs. It's one of the worst places to pitch in all of minor league baseball. There goes Neuenhuis. Broxton takes, throw to second, and Neuenhuis is out. Perfect throw by Montero. He has not been throwing well, but that was right on the money. And Neuenhuis is caught stealing. Back-to-back innings, the Brewers have had a base runner wiped out.
Out there in left field, did a face plant going into second base as the Cubs have a 1-0 lead. And keep up with the crew wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the official app of the Brewers, featuring live broadcasts, scoring updates, breaking news, and more. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Jason Hayward will lead off for the Cubs. Now hitting 7th in this Cubs batting order. He's had a down season. Madden dropped him into the 6th spot. Had a little bit of success there right after the All-Star break. But he continues to fall in the order. Take you back to that last slide at second base.
A little soupy out there at second base. Neuenhuis just stuck like a dart into second base. And you figure that the running game is going to be important for the Brewers in this series. Miguel Montero, that's only the 3rd guy he's thrown out all year. 3 for 51. That's 4%.
Well, that was his best throw by far that we have seen. And there's nothing wrong with that throw. That's the kind of throw
that leads you to believe the pitching staff hasn't given him much of a chance.
Right. Hayward takes a strike.
But 3 for 51. I mean, that's horrendous, regardless of what the reason is.
Now the Brewers in the first 2 innings have had a runner picked off and thrown out at second on a caught stealing. Garza and a 2-1 count on Hayward. There's a strike. 2-2.
Every pitch in this at bat has been a strike, and it's 2-2. Yep, there's the proof.
Hayward on the ground. The shift is on. That's VR over there, the 3rd baseman, and a 5-3 putout. Now the Brewers have so many rookies on their roster. They figured today would be a great day to start a doubleheader to make a Starbucks run. You see this? There's a Starbucks right across the street at Wrigley Field. It's kind of a thing in Major League Baseball, and you send the rookies out in uniform, by the way.
Yeah.
And they took care of the entire clubhouse with a Starbucks run.
As if they don't have any coffee in the clubhouse, right?
Right. There's plenty of coffee in the clubhouse. That's not the point.
Yeah, I get it. And nobody, in Wrigleyville would ever imagine that those were actual Brewers, right? It's just a bunch of guys that want to pretend like they're big league players. Just
dressed up in full uniform.
Right. Like Ronnie Woo Woo.
And by the way, the rookies had to pay for that themselves. There was no cash handed out. That's get your uniform on, get your money, take some orders, and get over there.
That's like you and I dropping a quarter on the floor.
That's right. Maybe like a dime for me.
Yeah.
One away for Montero. That's one of the traditions here at Wrigley Field. The accessible nature of this ballpark, which is carved into the neighborhood, the Wrigleyville neighborhood.
Doing a lot of construction around the ballpark.
Oh, it was really cool today. They're tearing down a building next door.
Yeah.
I mean, as we drove up, they're literally tearing it down today. This is demolition day, just beyond the first base grandstand. And that was pretty entertaining to watch them take down that building.
Maybe extending the home clubhouse even further.
That may be it on the other side, but
tunnel under the street.
It is a pretty long walk from the home clubhouse to the dugout. They tunneled their way all the way basically to the road. They got a big project going here. Multi-phases, multi-years. Prior to last season, they put in the big scoreboard in left center, did some upgrades around the stadium and the bleachers, totally redid the bleacher area.
The scoreboard down the right field line, blowing out some of those rooftop seats out there in right. Did the same in left center.
Yeah, there's been quite a fight going on between the residents of Wrigleyville, especially those who own those rooftops, and the Cubs. Long-standing relationship. It's pretty much a stare down at this point. Cubs always have the biggest negotiating ploy that we can just leave here and go elsewhere. And I think the residents around here say, we dare you.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so either.
No, they would have done it by now.
Pitch to Montero and a swing and a miss. Garza with a strikeout. 2 up and 2 down. First strikeout for Matt Garza.
Yeah, an 8-pitch at bat, and Garza finally able to get Montero on strikes on a pitch out of the strike zone, up out of the zone, and Montero swings and misses.
Two men out. Here is Trevor Cahill now, the Cubs pitcher. Boy, he's up there lashing away. Cahill has experience at the plate. He was a starting pitcher for a number of years before he ended up in the Cubs bullpen. Started with the A's, Diamondbacks. Last year was with Atlanta. He was one of the Cubs reclamation projects last year. He got released by the Braves. He was pitching so poorly that his career was in jeopardy somewhat, but reinvented himself as a reliever with the Chicago Cubs. He ended up being a key figure in their bullpen.
Yeah, made some postseason appearances last year, and Joe Madden said that Cahill was one of the key components of that relief corps down for the Cubs last year.
And saw a rise in his velocity, a couple of miles per hour on average pitching out of the bullpen. He's got a great sinker as well, and that was a big surprise last year. Cahill takes a called strike 3, and Garza with a nice comeback inning. 1-2-3 with a couple of Ks, and we're headed to the 3rd at Wrigley. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Chicago, and the first of 3 days in Chicago for the Milwaukee Brewers. First time they've been here since late April. Boy, how the weather has changed. It's just ideal baseball conditions today. Doubleheader today, day-night doubleheader. We'll do it again for a night game. They'll clear the stadium, and then they'll bring a new set of fans back in. I don't know, maybe some of them are the same fans, but they'll clear the stadium, and we'll be on the air at 6:30 for the night game tonight for the Brewers Live pregame. 7:05 first pitch. Tomorrow is a night game, and then Thursday is a day game before the Brewers head to Seattle. That's a bit of a creepy looking doll right there to be bringing to the ballpark.
Yeah.
Keon Broxton waves and misses. Look at that. I mean, at some point, that's a cute looking doll, but with the no hair and with the all black eyes.
Yeah, there's something more that meets the eye right there. I'm not sure, but
that's a little frightening. Cahill makes the play. Nice play, and gets Broxton. If that gets by Cahill with Broxton's speed, he's got a great chance to leg that one out.
Yeah, good. Fields his position very well, does Cahill. Well, most sinker ballers do. We talk about it all the time, and he relies. You can see how good a position he's in when he gets rid of the baseball, squares his shoulders up, and able to make the play. Sinker ballers get a lot of ground ball outs, and a fair amount of them come right back to them. That's why normally they're in good position to field.
Cahill today is making his first ever start as a Chicago Cub after pitching in their bullpen the last couple of seasons. His numbers throughout his career, his earned run average as a starter, a little over 4. He's been a much better pitcher, much more velocity, and that's turned into a lot of strikeouts per 9 innings as well for Cahill. I think that was the biggest change we saw in Cahill last year. This is a guy that would cruise around 90 to 91 plus miles an hour as a starter. He ramped that up to 92 plus with Sink last year.
You can do that when you're not pitching. You know, you're trying to get in 5, 6, 7 innings. I mean, you got to pace yourself. Out of the bullpen, just let her fly. He's going to have to do a little bit different here today. Joe Madden probably thinking maybe getting 5 innings out of him, maybe more if they're lucky. Brewers are hoping to get into that bullpen quickly here today.
Twice the Brewers have had a runner eliminated from the base paths today. VR was picked off in the first. Neuenhuis caught stealing in the second.
And that's not the way you want to make your outs when you're trying to get to the starter. Get that pitch count up. You make Cahill get the outs at the plate and not on the bases. Outs on the bases really keep that pitch count down.
Two and two to Pena. And Pena got jammed. A little fly ball into shallow left. And it's going to be Russell. And who made the catch? Russell and Coghlan, who dropped the ball. They're going to call that an out as Coghlan takes a shot from his shortstop. And I think it knocked the wind out of him. You could tell he is fighting for air right now. Jerry Davis, the second base umpire, ruled out. Now normally an outfielder has to show the ball to record an out.
They very rarely see that. If they have it long enough and the ball trickles out after that, and you can see the elbow right in the chest or the stomach area of Coghlan. He's got the baseball clearly, has it long enough to record the out right there.
Yeah, it looked like he got him in the chest, the rib, something.
That's where he makes the catch in the palm of the glove. Holds on to it long enough, then it trickles out. Well, you're right. The letter of the law in the rule book is you have to be able to take the ball out of your glove with your bare hand to record the out, but you never see that called.
He did reach in there with his hand, and he's okay, but you could tell the wind was knocked out of him. He was fighting to breathe for a moment there. It is an interesting wind today. It's not the normal summer wind that you'd get in August at Wrigley. It's actually blowing in a little bit, and because of that, I think it didn't quite carry far enough.
Blowing in from right field.
So that'll be out number 2. F7 on the put out. And here's Matt Garza. Garza, as a hitter this year, has 1 hit. He's 1 for 19 at the plate. And Cahill's got himself In a 3-1 count now. Pretty good bet Garza's going to be watching this one go by. And that's inside, ball 4. Matt Garza draws the walk.
There you go.
Well, that is a no-no if you're Trevor Cahill.
Yeah. Hey, this season you can earn free Brewers tickets simply by filling up your car with gas. Fans, you complete a BP Come On Back card by making 7 purchases of 8 or more gallons of gas. Won a free Brewers Terrace Reserve ticket. For details, call 414-902-4000.
Stay hydrated on a day like this. Actually, it's perfect out. Garza walks. Here's VR, and he takes a strike. It's only the 5th time in Matt Garza's illustrious career as a hitter that he's walked. And he keeps the inning alive and gets VR at the plate. Well, now you want to make him pay.
Probably going to take a home run to score him from here.
There's a strike. 1-2 the count on VR. Jonathan had the day off Sunday. Broxton hit lead off. Had a hit. Scored a couple of runs. And then VR had the scheduled team off day yesterday. So hoping he comes back fresh. He did have a single his first time up. He's never played as much in his career that he's playing this year with the Brewers. He's never been an everyday player in his career. He's had windows of being the everyday shortstop or everyday third baseman last year with the Astros. But to have the job and to be in the lineup on a consistent basis, that has not been VR's experience in the big leagues.
And he's earned the playing time. I mean, he did a very good job at shortstop, and he's been really good at third base as well, and hasn't really affected his offense, you know, making the position switch.
Never played more than 87 games in a season in the big leagues. This year, this is game 112, and he strikes out to end the inning. So Garza walks, but VR punches out. 2 Ks for Cahill, and he's got 3 scoreless on the board.
The Brewers 1-0, and it's time now for our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. Some news and notes around the league. Detroit's Miguel Cabrera left last night's game against Kansas City with a left bicep strain. He's day-to-day, and what a season he is having once again. Adrian Beltre for the Texas Rangers, a grand slam, 4 RBIs, 10th grand slam of his career. And Felix Hernandez, King Felix, last night against the Angels, 150th career win. And of course, after this series, the Brewers travel to Seattle, and so his next scheduled start should be this weekend against the Brewers. Should be an interesting matchup. Once again, the Brewers haven't been out to Seattle for a few years. In fact, the last time it was King Felix against Willie Peralta, and those two, I believe, pitched in a 1-0 game. Both pitchers going in the 8th inning of that one. So it'll be interesting to see what the matchups are this weekend, guys.
Yeah, they're expecting King Felix on Saturday night, and he is impressive. And the Mariners are streaking right now. Seattle is pushing the Texas Rangers in the American League West. They're just 5.5 back to start play today. Mariners have won 3 in a row. They've won 9 of 10. Seattle is creeping up there in the wild card standings as well. Seattle right now is 2 games behind Boston as Boston starts on a long road trip. Texas, by the way, you saw Beltre's grand slam. Craig mentioned the Rangers lost Shin-Soo Choo yesterday. Fractured his forearm. He was hit by a pitch, and you have to think he's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Fowler starts it for the Cubs. 3rd inning at Wrigley. And Fowler fouls one away.
Yeah, Brewers going to Seattle, and they're going to go to Texas at the end of the season. See Jonathan Lucroy and the Texas Rangers in Arlington.
Lucroy is playing well. He has 5 home runs as a member of the Rangers since that August 1st deal the Brewers made with Texas. I spent the weekend, Rock, in Cleveland. Had the Indians and the Angels this past weekend, and they are not happy with Jonathan Lucroy in Cleveland. Wow. There's a lot of venom coming out of Indians fans and Indians personnel about
that's unfortunate.
The deal that didn't go down. I thought Jonathan Lucroy was loved everywhere, but not in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, well, 2 sides to every story, isn't there?
Exercised his no trade clause and pulled a potential trade to the Indians off the table. Ended up with the Rangers. Cubs and Indians have a lot in common. Both did very well at the trade deadline. The Cubs acquired Aroldis Chapman, and the Indians did some shopping with the Yankees as well. They got Andrew Miller, who's been fantastic for him. Much more versatile pitcher. Doesn't have the stuff of Chapman, but gives Terry Francona and the Indians a lot more options on when he can use him. And those are the 2 big pieces, 2 big bullpen arms that were available. As Fowler draws the walk. Singled his last time up. Walks to start the 3rd.
Well, you just hope there's going to be a playoff between the 2. You know, Texas, Cleveland could add an element of intrigue, right?
I'm all in for that one.
Yeah.
Here's Chris Bryant. And could you imagine a Cubs Indians World Series? Both with long World Series championship droughts. Cubs go back to 08 among the teams that were active at that point. And the Indians have not won a World Series since 1948.
Yeah, we're not talking about 2008 either.
Right, that's right. 1908. Good call.
Yeah, yeah. 100 years difference. Yeah, well, anything shy of a World Series, and maybe even a World Series victory, is going to be a big disappointment around here.
Oh, and around Cleveland too. I think that's one of the more interesting dynamics between these 2 franchises right now, the Cubs and the Indians, is that both teams are very well put together. Their roster is as good as any. As Bryant pops this one up, foul grounds. Easy play for Carter for out number 1.
Yeah, that's been one of the big differences with Matt Garza lately, and he's talking about his breaking ball and his off-speed stuff, but his ability to get inside with the fastball has really opened up that off-speed pitch for him, and doing a good job jamming Bryant that time.
And that'll bring up Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo singled to center with 2 strikes in the 1st inning. Leads the Cubs in RBIs, second behind Bryant in homers. Both are among league leaders in both categories as Bryant whistles one foul. Rizzo right now is third in the National League in RBIs. Nolan Arenado is the league leader with 93. And then you have Daniel Murphy and then Rizzo, and you could pencil all three of those in as MVP candidates right now. As far as home runs go, Rizzo is 6th in the NL with his teammate Bryant 2nd. And Nolan Arenado leads in that category as well with 30 homers.
Yeah, the Colorado effect kind of hurts Arenado a little bit. The fact that they're not winning. But Colorado still feels like you know, they're hanging in there. They lost 4 in a row. 56 and 63.
Rockies are 6.5 back in the wild card race.
You got to believe, you know, Daniel Murphy, certainly he's going to get a lot of votes, but these two guys here in Chicago, it's got to be one or the other, especially where the Cubs are winning.
Yep, I agree. Pop up foul.
30 games over 500 are the Cubs. Well, there was a point where the Cubs and the Cub fans, Cubs media were talking about breaking the all-time record for wins. Kind of went into the tank there for a while. But they've snapped out of it very quickly.
Yeah, heading into the All-Star break, Joe Maddon's club struggled. They did win the final game before the All-Star break, and they played well since then. Matter of fact, they had not lost a game in the month of August until this past weekend against St. Louis. They started the month by winning 11 straight. Joe Maddon has dubbed this American Legion Week for his players. Doubleheader today after the off day yesterday. And what that means is he is demanding that his players not show up to the ballpark until 4 o'clock. There's a base hit. Rizzo singles. That's another 2-strike hit for Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, one to center, now one to left. Of course, I hope they didn't take that seriously. Of course, they had to come up, get here before 4 o'clock for this game.
Yes, you're right.
Right on the outside corner, that pitch from Matt Garza, and Anthony Rizzo is showing you why he's one of the best. Just serves that one in the left field.
So the deal with American Legion Week is Maddon is preferring that his players show up 2 hours before game time. No BP. Take a few cuts if you want, but basically, like when you were in American Legion ball, you show up in your uniform and you just play the game, and then you go home after. So he's done that every year, and this is the week that they are experiencing American Legion Week. So you didn't see any Cubs on the field before the game today.
Everything but taking their uniform home with them.
And I'm sure they have plenty of great ice cream after as well. 2 on for Zobrist. This top of the Cubs order is as good as it gets. And Garza.
He's a middle of the order guy. So was Montero with the Diamondbacks.
Missed inside. That'll even the count at 2-2 on Zobrist.
Yeah, Garza's been all over that strike zone. Even when he's missed, he hasn't missed by much. Really has good stuff here today.
And Zobrist doesn't bite. Now it's 3-2.
Cubs make you work. They don't swing out of the zone too much.
Cubs and the Brewers among the leaders in Major League Baseball for walks this season as a team. Quick trip to the mound there by Manny Pena.
Yeah, Cubs are first in walks in the National League. Brewers right behind them. They're 2.
Full count, 2 on. As Zobrist on the ground, chance to turn it here. Jeanette to Arcia, got to hurry. No throw. Now a throw to third and a tag, and he's safe at third base.
Yeah, good play right there by Arcia. Boy, he's got heads-up play. A very heads-up infielder is Orlando Arcia, a young kid. Very aware of his surroundings, situational awareness. He knows he's not going to be able to get the doubleheader, so he looks right at third. And Villar wasn't there. He wasn't at the bag. He had to make the throw off the bag, and then Reese, it was too late.
If VR covers the bag properly, immediately, that's an easy out. You saw the double clutch by Arcia. He was ready to throw, but there was nobody there. Those are the little things that make a big difference. That could have ended the inning. Instead, it's first and third now with Russell at the plate.
I guess there's not much else to do if you're over there at third base. You're not involved in the play. You got to be at the bag. Might have had the out to end the inning.
Well, Garza facing Russell, who drove in a run with a sac fly in the first. He's up there with 2 outs this time. And that skips away from Pena, and a run's going to score.
Now that's one that Pena should have been able to, if nothing else, keep in front of him. That pitcher's got to be able to keep the ball down. And that was a relatively easy play. I mean, I'm not sure if that even bounced before it got to Pena. Might go down as a wild pitch, but certainly a play he should have made.
Now they'll officially score it as a wild pitch. You're right. Well, Pena would tell you he needs to make that one. 2-0 Cubs. Both of their runs have scored without benefit of a hit.
He got handcuffed. He wasn't sure if he was going to, backhand it or bring the glove with the fingers down. Got caught in between that got by him.
Cubs have a runner at second now, and Zobrist. You see the splits for Russell. Been a much better hitter here at Wrigley. 10 of his 14 home runs have come here at Wrigley Field. And you'll take as much offense as you can get. He's had a terrific season. He's been a great run producer this year. But what he gives you defensively at short is what separates him from most in this golden era of shortstops in Major League Baseball, especially 25 and under shortstops. Popped him up. VR fighting the sun, foul territory. He's got it for the out, and the side is retired, but another run comes in for the Cubs. 2-0 Chicago. We head to the 4th inning. Wrigley, game 1 of this doubleheader. Well, Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock have a new show. It airs weekdays at 5 p.m. Speak for Yourself. Weekdays at 5, only on FS1. How about our trivia question today, courtesy of Carsoup.com? Which fielder made the final putout in Matt Garza's only career no-hitter? It's a good question. He's in the ballpark today. Talking to Derek Johnson, the Brewer pitching coach. Cubs have 2 on the board. First run scored on a sac fly, the other on a wild pitch. And here's Orlando Arcia to start it for the Brew Crew. Young 22-year-old shortstop. Arcia just getting to the big leagues. This is his first month in the big leagues. Turned 22 last week, or 2 weeks ago, actually.
Well, I think he's been everything everybody thought he would be when he came up. You know, a little inconsistent at the plate, what you would expect, but always gives you that good defense. He's always heads up in the infield. I mean, you saw that play, you know, last inning. You know, potential double play. Realized he couldn't get it. A quick throw to third. Had VR been at the bag, it might have ended the inning and saved the Brewers a run. I like the way he thinks on his feet. He is not overwhelmed at all being in the major leagues.
Just has that great baseball sense about him, about what's happening around him. No surprises with Arcia. Little tapper foul. And you think about Arcia and how young he is. Just turned 22. He's only 8 months younger than Addison Russell. And Russell is now an all-star and has been to the postseason. And you think about all these young shortstops that are having so much success. And Arcia is next in line.
Yeah, Russell, the second baseman last year, he moved over to short. Starlin Castro traded away, and he's done a lot in a very short period of time as Addison Russell.
Full count to Arcia. Spoils a changeup.
Yep, sinker, curveball, changeup. Got that knuckle curve, does Trevor Cahill.
On the ground to Russell. And one shortstop takes care of the other. One away here in the 4th. That'll bring up Scooter Gennett. "16 games on the Major League schedule today with this doubleheader at Wrigley." Be keeping tabs of a lot of baseball going on today. There aren't any other day games today other than ours. Everything else at night. Pennant races are heating up. Those wild card races figure to come down to the last day again. Seems like they always do. It's a little flare into left. Coughlin will ease in. 2 outs in the inning for Cahill. Chris Carter tops the Powerball home run leaderboard. Has 27 on the season. Carter with 66 runs batted in. He leads the Brewers in both categories. Braun's been on a home run binge here in the last couple of weeks. He's up to 22 now.
He had 3 in the last 2 games of the homestand. Had 2 home runs on Sunday against the Reds.
Had a multi-homer game on the last road trip. Carter hitting .220 to start play today. Oh for 1 against Cahill. Cubs have action in their bullpen with Mike Montgomery. Cahill, a spot starter, remember, making his first start of the season for the Cubs. Did have 6 AAA starts, but didn't pitch more than 4 innings in any of those starts. He's got a shutout going. He's had a man on in every inning, but has still faced 1 over the minimum. 2 hits and a walk allowed.
The Cubs only have 7 relievers down in their bullpen. Montgomery, one of them. They have 3 left-handers, 4 right-handers, and most teams these days are going with 8, including Milwaukee.
Carter gets jammed on the ground to Russell, and Cahill, he is through 4. 17 pitch inning, but he goes 1, 2, 3.
Such as Beer Money and Something About a Truck when country music star Kip Moore performs on August 27th, right after the Brewers Pirates game. Plus, fans who purchase a special country night ticket package will get a Brewers trucker hat.
Looking forward to that. We welcome Kip Moore to Milwaukee. Great young entertainer, country artist. Matt Garza back to work. We go to the bottom of the 4th. And it'll be Chris Coghlan to lead off for Chicago. Garza's given up 2 runs, both earned, but both scored without the benefit of a hit. Sac fly and a wild pitch bringing the runs in. Coghlan had a collision and left with his shortstop on a fly ball. Looked like it knocked the wind out of him. He's been able to stay in the game. Coghlan making his 13th start of the year in left field. And a little half swing, he goes.
It's that curveball that Garza has been real pleased with as of late. He's got a little bit more snap on it. Late break on it. Feeling as good as he has as a Brewer, according to Garza.
Fastball, fair ball. Into the Cubs bullpen. And it went in there and got stuck in the Cubs bullpen. That's a live ball, by the way. And it's going to be a double for Chris Coghlan. 2-strike hit for Coghlan.
And made a mistake with the fastball. It ended up right down the middle. And then Coghlan with 2 strikes, able to just kind of slap it down there inside the bag. And then by the time the Brewers ran it down, Coghlan in with a leadoff double. 3rd time in this game that the Cubs have had their leadoff hitter on.
And all 4 Cubs hits have come with 2 strikes. Fowler had 1, Rizzo's had 2, and now Coghlan with the double. Runner at second for Jason Hayward. In the air to right, got under it. Perez coming in. Coghlan's going to tag, and just a bluff. Hayward is retired.
Wynn got that one, didn't it? Pushed
Sure
it
did.
right back to the infield and kind of surprised Perez. Off the bat, it looked like it might have been deep enough to be able to advance Coghlan to 3rd base.
Pretty strong wind blowing in from right field right now. Good day to pitch. This ballpark can play big when the wind's blowing in. No question.
Yeah. What do they say about 50-50 blowing in and blowing out?
Rarely does it blow straight down. It's usually going one direction or the other. But pitchers do change their game plan a little depending on the wind here at Wrigley Field. You can be a little more aggressive when the wind's blowing in as it is today. So the first out here is Montero now, and this becomes the key out for Garza. Got the pitcher due up next. You just wonder if Joe Madden would pinch hit for Cahill next. I'm sure he's ecstatic to get 4 shutout out of him in a spot start. But would he send a position player up there? Ground ball, shortstop, Arcia can't find a handle. Just tried to flip it over to 3rd base. Not sure if he's going to get Montero. Montero does not run well, but because of the shift and the way the Brewers were positioned, that became a very tough play for Arcia.
Yeah, it's going to be a base hit. And I think if he picks it up right away, I mean, it would be a very nice play for him to get the out. But he held on to it. He has plenty enough arm to be able to get Montero. Well, Craig Counsell wants to talk defense. You got Cahill up, maybe talk about a possible bunt, what they want to do in the event of a bunt. He's probably going to be bunting, or if nothing else, to advance Montero to 2nd base.
Well, and remember, Garza has the throwing problem, so I'm sure Counsell is making sure Garza is covered. The Cubs certainly know Garza's problems throwing the baseball, so I'm sure Cahill's wanting, if he is bunting, will want to bunt one right back to the pitcher if he can.
Yeah, Coghlan, pretty good base runner. Good instincts, decent speed.
First and third, 1 out. Cahill shows bunt, and the pitch is outside. Yeah, Counsell has Carter and VR crashing in, with Arcia going to 3rd base. That basically leaves Jeanette to cover 2nd and nobody at 1st to hold the runner at 1st base.
And again, with VR taking off quickly, that gives Coghlan a lot of room to get a big lead in the event he wants to try and score on a bunt.
Now a little different scenario here. It's a fascinating part of the game right here, because you're not just going to have the same bunt coverage every time. Counsell will change it up. If every time he had Jeanette covering 2nd and Carter crashing in, Montero could take as much lead as he wants, but that last time Jeanette was headed back to first. Bunt attempt again. Coughlin retreats as Cahill takes ball 3.
As soon as VR heads to home plate, Coughlin's following him, getting a monster lead. By the time that ball gets to the hitting zone, Coughlin's probably more than a third down the line, maybe more. Making a play at home plate very difficult.
And meanwhile, Garza has not thrown a strike to his mound opponent. There it is, 3-1 now. Shows bunt, gets it down, foul. 3-2.
Yeah, with the way VR is crashing, it's going to be awfully difficult to keep Coughlin from scoring if Cahill able to get the ball in fair territory. Yeah, but that's the issue that you have when you don't want your pitcher handling a bunt. You have to give up that area over at third base.
I've always wondered why not bring an outfielder in to cover a bag in a spot like this. As Cahill gets the bunt down, it's a good one. Carter coming home. That's late.
Oh, see, there's no way you're going to get him out. I mean, we've been saying that for now, what, 4 or 5 pitches, the way Coughlin's been able to creep down that line. A really good bunt by Cahill. But really the only play on there is at first base. I mean, this Coughlin's about half the way down by the time that ball's bunted. You could see it from the beginning of the play. I mean, there's no chance of getting him out. You just got to put it in fair territory.
So a squeeze bunt, a sacrifice, and an RBI for Trevor Cahill. And now first and second for the top of the order. Still just 1 out. 3-0 Cubs. And another Cubs run scores without a hit.
And once again, all that, you know, because you don't want your pitcher fielding a bunt and making throws. The sacrifices that you have to make.
You know, if you brought a 5th infielder in, you dare the opponent, the pitcher, to swing the bat. Right. And that's what you want him doing anyway, right?
And what are the chances he's going to hit a fly ball in the outfield, right? I mean,
you place
some of your good hitting pitchers, you might not do that, but a guy that hasn't had a lot of at-bats, like Cahill this year. Good idea.
I mean, with that configuration, it just leaves one base exposed, whether it's the runner at third or the runner at first. Montero can get a big lead.
And plus you got Perez, who's an infielder out there in right field. Food for thought, maybe next time.
How should I bring that up to Craig Counsell?
I wouldn't.
Just keep that to yourself.
Yeah. That's just good banter on television.
That's a good point. Fowler up there in a 1-2 count.
Maybe tomorrow. I wouldn't do it between games.
It counts. I had an idea.
Why didn't you do this?
That always goes over well.
I mean, I agree with you on a lot of levels in that, you know, you put Perez, maybe just have him anchor third base while while VR is crashing in, so he doesn't get as big a lead.
Right. Full count to Fowler, who's been on twice. He singled in the first with 2 strikes, and then he walked in the third. What a leadoff hitter he is. He's up there among league leaders in on-base percentage. He's up over 390 now. Today he's seen 19 pitches in his first 3 at-bats. And pitch number 20 is his second walk, and he's been on base all 3 times, and Garza has him loaded up.
And he's a guy that you have to throw strikes to. I mean, you got Bryant Rizzo coming up. The last thing you want to do is issue a free pass to Dexter Fowler. It's happened twice.
And now Chris Bryant. And Garza is in serious trouble here. 3 runs are in. We're in the 4th inning. Garza's had 1 3-up 3-down inning. That was the second. Two and 0. Tyler Cravey is loosening in the Brewer bullpen. Garza's been pitching well in the month of August, but he's having his troubles today. Bases full of Cubs. Bryant swings and pops it up in the infield. Infield fly rule is in effect. Pena makes the catch. And the second out of the inning.
Yeah, straight up the chute, and I don't think Pena was planning on catching that baseball. Figuring maybe VR and Carter maybe, but did you see where Arcia ended up on that play? Talk about hustle. Well, you talk about getting away with a 2-0 pitch. Pena's looking at everybody. He finally figures I better catch it. He had 3 guys all around him. Check out Arcia where he ends up. He's coming in. He says, I'll get it if nobody wants it. But Pena able to make the catch.
That's great.
I love watching that kid. Boy, he's just nothing but hustle everywhere.
Instincts are off the charts, right? Well, a big out for Garza. Now he's got Rizzo, who is 2 for 2 today, and both of his hits coming on 2 strike pitches. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the inning. Rizzo on the ground, right to Carter. He'll go to the bag, and Garza gets out of it. The Cubs get just 1 second bases loaded jam he's pitched out of. It's 3-0 Cubs as we go to the 5th. The Cubs have scored all 3 of their runs without the benefit of a hit. As we head to the Milwaukee 5th. And let's check the Powerball home run numbers for the Brewers. They have 27 homers in the last 17 games. No question about the Brewers' power potential this season. And that's something that David Stearns, the new general manager, Matt Arnold, the assistant GM, will want to continue to build around. Miller Park is a home run friendly park, and this is going to be a team that you figure will hit some home runs, and it affects how you scout players and the kind of players that you acquire via trade. But since July 28th, no team has homered more than the Brewers, and that includes hitter friendly Colorado at Coors Field. Even the Cardinals are getting into the act, but not really a they weren't a home run hitting team in the past.
I think, you know, even if you might not have a team loaded with home run hitters, you're still going to have home run numbers just because you're playing half your games at Miller Park. Very home run friendly. I think the Brewers, you know, they're very pleased with the number of home runs they've hit, but they would, I think, just as soon get a little bit more consistent with runners in scoring position. But I think every team can say that. I mean, no team is happy with the way they've been with runners in scoring position.
Well, the interesting superlative on the home run totals in that stretch we showed you is the fact that the Brewers have homered in 17 consecutive games, 3 off a franchise record. The Brewers homered in 20 consecutive games in 2008. That was in July of 08. First year the Brewers made the postseason in the Miller Park era of Brewer baseball. Perez on the ground is short. Russell makes it look easy. Out number 1. 17 straight with a home run and 27 during that streak. The record held by the 08 Brewers. That was Braun and Fielder and Corey Hart and company. Had 19 in a row in '96 back in the County Stadium days. Here's Kurt Neuenhuis. 1 man out in the 5th. A lot of ground ball outs for Cahill. By the way, speaking of that 08 team, Corey Hart, I was thinking about him. Corey Hart is not playing right now. I don't know if he's officially retired or not, but there is breaking news on Corey Hart and a potential fantasy camp coaching spot. Is that public?
Yeah, I think yesterday we nailed him down as a fantasy camp coach.
Man, that's awesome.
That's a coup. I mean, I think that is going to pave the way for a lot of these newly retired guys to come to fantasy camp. And you know what? If they're out there listening, that is a perfect way to start your Brewers coaching career.
That's right.
Get into the fantasy camp, kind of get the, you know, learn the ropes from guys like Cecil Cooper and Ed Cedar and, you know, Jerry Augustine, and then who knows, you might end up being a Brewers coach.
You're almost like a training ground for a professional coach.
Yeah.
You're providing that service to these names, and you get a little bit in return as well.
Right. It's great having those guys around. I know the campers like to have guys like that. You know, we got Chuck Krim, who was the Dodgers bullpen coach for a couple of years. He's coming to camp. So breaking news.
Shaping up nicely there,
We nailed that down yesterday on the bus to Chicago.
You and Corey Hart via text message.
And Ed Cedar.
Neuenhuis swings and pulls one. Nice play by Rizzo. It's in and out of his glove. Throw to first. Out at first.
Oh, the tip is on the bag. I think Counsell might want to take a look at it. Well, Anthony Rizzo shows you why he's a Gold Glover. That is one heck of a play. Question is Cahill's foot on the bag when he catches it? He came off the bag very quickly. And Rizzo throwing a bullet over to Cahill. It looks like he's on it.
Yeah, good play, good call. They did take a look. The Brewers won't challenge. And just a heck of a play. Wow, what an athletic throw that was on the money in the stretch by Cahill. That was something.
And that's a good play by Cahill, too. A guy coming off injury to his knee. Kind of did the splits after he got the out.
And by the way, Neuenhuis runs well. So that's no easy play by any stretch. 3-1 on the putout. Cahill has now retired 6 in a row. as he works here in the 5th. This will probably be his last inning. Last time he won a game as a starting pitcher was 2 years ago, almost to the day. August 15, 2004, while he was pitching for the Diamondbacks. And he's got a 3-0 lead and is giving Joe Maddon a lot more than he expected today. Brewers have just 2 hits.
Yeah, 5 innings shutout so far, and he's also got an RBI.
2 hits and a walk. 2 strikeouts. He still only faced 1 over the minimum. Both the hits were wiped out on the bases. One a caught stealing, the other was a pickoff. That's a swing for Broxton. And a count to 2-2. And Broxton draws the walk. So 2 outs and a base runner now. Second walk issued. Cahill walked Matt Garza, believe it or not, back in the 3rd inning. And here comes Manny Pena. Joe Maddon will let it ride. I'm sure the pitch count's getting into a little bit of a concern place for Maddon and pitching coach Chris Bosio.
Man, 77, not too bad.
Pena called up from AAA Colorado Springs, was having an all-star season there. Broxton takes off. Montero's throw is into center field, and Broxton is up and on the move. He'll end up at 3rd. That'll be a steal and an error on Montero. And the Brewers finally get a runner in scoring position for the first time today.
Yeah, we talked about Montero having a difficult time throwing out base runners. He threw one out. He got Neuenhuis early in the game. Only the 3rd he's thrown out this year in 51 attempts. Well, now he's only 3 for 52.
15 steals for Keon Broxton. And a bender in there for a strike. Could be Cahill's last hitter. The Brewers would love to get into the bullpen here in the 5th. And Pena fouls it away. Manny is a good hitting catcher. Offense ahead of his defense is the scouting report on Pena. Hit .329 in AAA this season.
And he's shown a good bat here at the major league level. Had back-to-back games with 3 RBIs. Had 6 RBIs in 2 games back on the homestand.
Broxton at 3rd. The pitch to Pena. A swing and a miss. Cahill is out of the inning. Got him on a changeup. Brewers strand a runner at 3rd base. Cahill gives the Cubs 5 scoreless innings today.
Milwaukee. His team trails Chicago 3-0. And a few days ago on Sunday, after the ballgame, Matt Garza and several of his teammates joined forces at the Brewers Bowl-a-thon to help raise money for Meta House, which offers substance abuse treatment services to help women reclaim their lives from the effect of drugs or alcohol. Bowlers participated in a silent auction and enjoyed food and drinks while mingling and bowling with Brewer players. Had a really good turnout from the Brewer players and staff over at that event on Sunday. And now Matt Garza kind of struggling through today, but only trails 3-0. A big inning for him right now to keep his team in it, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig. And Garza will face Zobrist to start this inning. Zobrist, Russell, and Coghlan, first three up for the Brewers, or rather for the Cubs, as a baseball has gotten loose. Not sure where that baseball's come from. Somebody just hurled that one in from the bleachers just for the fun of it?
Yeah, well, not sure. Maybe anticipating a Brewers homer.
They're going to have to wait a half inning. It's a practice throw.
Yeah. Well, they have pockets full of them. They don't actually ever throw the real home run ball back.
It's a bit of a fraudulent situation, isn't it?
Very insincere.
Garza needs a clean inning here. It's been a struggle for him. Had a 3 up 3 down second, but that's been it. Matter of fact, Craig made the point. He's right. He's probably feeling pretty good about the fact it's only 3-0 at this point.
The Cubs have stranded 6 first 4 innings.
They've twice had him loaded. Had him loaded with 1 out in the first, only got 1. Bouncing ball to Jeanette. And Zobrist is retired. Out number 1. Last inning, the Cubs had a run in and runners on all 3 bags for Bryant and Rizzo, and Garza got Bryant to pop up in an infield fly rule, and then Rizzo hit a hot shot to first to retire the side. Here's Russell now. 0 for 1. He had a sac fly in the first inning. Cubs got Addison Russell in a deal with the Oakland A's. They were in a pennant run 2 years ago. They acquired Jeff Samardzija in that deal for Russell. I can't imagine they expected Russell to be this good this fast. You don't give up on shortstops of this caliber. That's a fair ball. Just died right in front of home plate. Pena jumped on it quickly, and out number 2 at first base.
Yeah, hit that one about 12 inches. That's hard to do. An easy play for the Brewers catcher. Yeah, once again, Garza throwing the baseball nicely. He's throwing well. Good slider. Russell out in front. Got the out.
Two up, 2 down for Garza. He'll face Chris Coghlan, former Rookie of the Year in the National League when he was a member of the Marlins. First of a day-night doubleheader today. We'll clear out the ballpark and then start up anew tonight. 6:30 airtime for Brewers Live, and then 7:05 first pitch. Don't be the one that says, when asked if the Brewers play tonight, no, they played earlier today. I saw the game. Don't be that person. Playing 2 today. Great day to have a doubleheader as well.
Yeah, it is.
Nice little breeze.
Isn't every day
blowing.
a good day for a doubleheader?
Not every day, Rock.
Not when the Brewers are here the first time.
Picture perfect.
Now, you told me you weren't going to say that, use that Ernie Banks statement.
Right. Let's play 2.
Yeah, you said it on our open today.
Right. Right. Didn't take me long, did it?
No.
Coughlin bounces out. Garza, one of his better innings. 3 up and 3 down. You know what Ernie Banks would say today, Rock?
Play 2.
Let's play 2.
Why not?
But his day is done. Mike Montgomery is now in relief, and the Cubs may have Aroldis Chapman as their closer, but they're feeling the effects without setup man Pedro Strop. Since he's been out, in fact, look no further than the most recent 4-game series. The Cubs became the first National League team ever, I should say, to allow multiple home runs from the 5th inning later in each of their 4-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. So it's only 3-0 at this point. The Brewers now will face the Cubs bullpen the rest of the way. Should be interesting.
All right, Craig, thanks. And this game, a spot start for Cahill. He gives them 5 innings. So he gives them a lot more than they probably expected before the day began. And you're right, this has been the window to get the Cubs here recently without Strop, with Rondon not pitching at his best either. Not on the disabled list, but he did have a little tightness in the tricep, and they shut him down for about a week. They came back. He gave up that home run to Piscotty on Sunday. Montgomery was an acquisition from Seattle. We saw him at Miller Park in late July as Jake Elmore, the pinch hitter, grounds out. And there is out number 1. But there's one inning that's pretty well taken care of, and that's the 9th for the Cubs.
Well, even the 8th isn't in too bad a shape. I mean, Rondon, although he has struggled a bit, you got to have a lead on the Cubs at least. You know, by the 6th, 7th inning, pretty much lockdown after that. But every now and again, they're going to show signs of weakness. But you know, they've certainly improved that bullpen with Montgomery and Chapman picking up a couple of those left-handers.
VR, a big swing and a miss.
But really, that's the only weakness the Cubs have, is that getting to the 8th inning.
There have been some rumors about Jonathan Papelbon coming to Chicago. He is now a free agent. He got designated for assignment by the Nationals. And he's got some history with a couple of these Cubs pitchers. John Lester, namely, with the Boston Red Sox. If any manager could handle the maintenance of a Papelbon or Aroldis Chapman bullpen, it would be Joe Madden. There's a lot to it as VR strikes out.
Well, he's really managed that whole Rondon, Aroldis Chapman situation. Rondon, the closer, for the Cubs, did a very good job last year. You bring Chapman over and you kind of talk your way through with Rondon as being the 8th inning guy, although he struggled a bit. He's kind of nicked up. He's got a little bit of an arm issue. Talking about Rondon, but Joe Madden has a very good relationship with his players, and I would imagine he can talk any one of these guys into just about anything. A master negotiator.
Yeah, yes, he is. Yeah, when you're winning, it's easier to do that.
Right. Yeah, the decisions that you make and they work and you're winning, and not too many people can argue.
Montgomery was having a terrific season with the Mariners. Reliever, spot starter. Had a 2.34 ERA with Seattle. Good strikeout numbers. He's actually had better strikeout numbers with the Cubs. He's averaging over 12 Ks per 9 innings, but he has not pitched as well. He's given up a lot of hits as well as a member of the Cubs. This is only his 7th outing. He's given up 10 hits already. Brewer saw his first outing as a member of the Cubs. That was in Milwaukee in late July. Arcia swing and a miss. 3-2 the count. Full count. Arcia takes a ball inside and draws the walk.
Man, that one had something on it right there. Trying to buzz him inside, didn't miss by much. I mean, that's a tight zone for Carlos Torres behind home plate umpire. So a lot of pitches just like that, not called strikes, with Garza on the mound today.
Well, Arcia is aboard. It's a 2-out walk. It brings Scooter Gennett to the plate. Brewers need something soon here offensively. Had one base runner into scoring position today. That was Broxton last inning, who walked with 2 outs, stole second, went to third on an error. That's been it.
Hey, talk about that first appearance from Montgomery at Miller Park as a Cub. He came in and right away Kirk Neuenhuis hit a 3-run home run off of him. Right down the line in left field. So a rude first appearance for Montgomery.
Look out in the seats. Hot shot just over the Cubs dugout. Everybody looks okay over there. Could hit the back of that photographer. Didn't hit me. Did it hit you?
They'd probably rather it hit him than that expensive lens.
His company would. Gennett on the ground, slow roller. And Zobrist makes a play to end the inning. So Montgomery works a scoreless 6th inning. Cubs are shutting out the Brewers today. It's 3-0 Chicago. In Chicago, first of 3 days against the Cubs. 4 games in this 3-game window. Hey, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Girls on the Run and their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. Registration is now open. Learn more about how you can get involved this fall. Visit foxsportsupports.com. And Rock, we're seeing Tyler Cravey, the 26th man for the doubleheader today.
Yeah, 3rd time that he's been up. He was here for a couple of weeks, in April, and then got sent down, got called up to make a start against the Reds. That's when Willie Peralta was on paternity leave, and back up as the extra player, in this case the extra pitcher for the doubleheader. You see his numbers down in the minor leagues. Made a start against Cincinnati, took a 5-1 loss.
I'm sure he'll be allowed to stay out there as long as he's pitching well. As Hayward in the air, right field, wind blowing in, and this will be routine for Perez, out number 1.
Yeah, good day to have him hit it to right.
Bit of an unusual summer wind blowing. It's a north wind. Usually see that when it's cold in the fall and early in the spring. One away. Here is Montero. Chase Anderson will start the 2nd game of this doubleheader. Cubs will have Jason Hamill, who's been pitching well. Brewers are going to get Lester tomorrow, then Arrieta Thursday afternoon. One and 2 to Montero. Had an infield hit his last time up. He's coming right at him, Cravey, and Montero fouls it away.
Yes, he is. Fastball's in on his hands that time, and him 91 miles an hour. I mean, not overpowering, but he's got a good changeup, a breaking pitch to go with it. Basically a 3-pitch pitcher.
I don't remember Cravey with that little turn showing his back to the hitter before his delivery. It's more enhanced turn to the plate and a swing and a miss. Well, I tell you, it looks like he may be hiding the ball well when you do that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why you do that. Maybe stay close, good balance on that back leg, and the longer you can hide that baseball from the hitter, the better off you are out there on the mound. Can't pick up the spin, can't pick up the velocity. And those fastballs 91, 92 miles an hour. He blew it right by Montero.
It's very Lincecum-like. Not quite the flexibility of Lincecum in his day, but that's a similar motion there. Hitters only seeing the last name and the numbers on the back. And then you got to fight to find the ball out of there somewhere. Could be an easy inning here for Cravey as Montgomery, the relief pitcher, is at the plate.
I'll tell you, Pena's making him sound like he's throwing about 99 miles an hour. Popping that glove every time. Either that or a really well-placed microphone we've got.
Terrific audio man, Eric West. Combination of both. Slow roller. Cravey is on it, and a tag and out. Good play by Cravey. And a 1-2-3 inning made that inning look easy. Good work by Cravey, back in the big leagues. 3 up, 3 down. Had a little adventure on this one. No problem. A 1 unassisted to win the inning. Cubs, game 1 of our day-night doubleheader today on Fox Sports Wisconsin. On our way to the 7th inning, back to our Carsoup.com trivia. And the question was, which fielder made the final putout in Matt Garza's only career no-hitter? He's a member of the Cubs now. That would be Ben Zobrist.
Well, if there was a connection with that question to the game, he'd be the only answer, wouldn't he?
Take you back. Garza, July of 2010, pitching against the Tigers. And he had the breaking ball going that day. Zobrist was in the outfield playing right field when he made that catch and then the final out. Yep, and a no-hitter for Matt Garza. One of those special moments they can never take away from him.
Yep.
Garza was traded to the Cubs not long after that. Montgomery facing Chris Carter. And did that hit him? Sounded like it. It did. Carter hit by a pitch. And a base runner for the Brewers to start an inning.
And first time since the first inning that the Brewers have had their leadoff hitter aboard. And that getting Carter in the back of the arm. As if it didn't even hurt.
It's like a gnat.
Did it hit me? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Madden allowed Montgomery to hit last inning, trying to get multiple innings out of him. Here's Hernan Perez now. Justin Grimm is loosening in the Chicago bullpen. This has been the area of concern. Post starter, pre-closer for the Cubs. There's Grimm. And Perez out in front.
The thing is, when you have a starting rotation like the Cubs, it's not often that they're out before the 7th inning. You got Lester and you got Arrieta and Hamill, Hendricks. These guys can eat up innings for you.
Perez reaches out on one, and a fly ball to Coughlin at left for out number 1. Had him fooled.
Change up. Good one.
Now the Cubs starters stack up against some of the best rotations in the major leagues.
I forgot about John Lackey. Didn't mention him.
Well, Lackey left Sunday's game with a little tightness in the shoulder. Left mid at bat in the 7th inning against the Cardinals. Hendricks has been a great surprise for him this year. Has their best ERA.
And those numbers even better here at Wrigley Field.
So you start thinking about the postseason for the Cubs, and because you only need 4 starters, they're going to immediately strengthen their bullpen. You figure at this point, if you had to guess, without injury, you'd see Jason Hamill go in there. He's been their worst, but he's been great. He's been their worst starter. Hendricks' home ERA is 1.31 to follow your point. Brewers won't see him in this series. Neuenhuis, big swing and a miss. Curveball got him. Out number 2.
Yeah, last time he faced Montgomery, he hit a 3-run homer at Miller Park. That was a victory for Milwaukee that day.
Now Broxton with 2 away. Carter still at first, was hit by a pitch. By the way, the Brewers tied for the fewest times hit by pitch with the Indians this season. Cubs have the most. Cubs hitters have been hit 74 times, most in all of baseball.
Oh, Rizzo leads that pack. He stands right on top of home plate. I figure he's going to get hit a ton.
Rizzo's been hit 14 times this year. Fowler's been hit 10 times, and Bryant 13.
Got to pitch him in.
Inside corner strike. Keon reached on a walk and stole a base in the 5th. Brewers have only 2 hits today and have not had a hit since the 2nd inning. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Montgomery cuts it off.
Montero said you're supposed to let it go.
Cut one.
Just to let you know, you got to let that go through.
Maybe saved him an error here. I got it. Oh, you were going to throw that to second?
Chris Carter with his 2nd stolen base. Stole one back on a homestand. Everybody getting into the act.
And a Chris Carter steal and a cut off by the pitcher on a throw to second. Okay. Just don't see that a lot. How does that make you feel as a catcher when the pitcher just reaches up and snags your throw?
Really bad.
And Broxton strikes out. And the inning is over.
Seventh inning stretch here at Wrigley Field. And today's time of the game winner, Taylor and Dunn's Public House in Mequon. They call the Brewers. And by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. There's a Brewer fans in and amongst the Cub loyals here.
Gotta get that selfie lined up. Boston Cubs fans around. I hope she's related to them. You go stand over there out of my way.
They had a great rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game by Ernie Banks up on the scoreboard here today.
You know what Ernie would say about a day like this, Rock?
Go ahead, tell me.
Let's play 2.
I said I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, they had one on video of Ernie singing the 7th inning stretch, and they played that back. Always great memories when you see Ernie Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Great
Mr.
Cub.
Cub.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Shortstop, first baseman. Fowler into center field, hit well, but Broxton is there. And out number 1. Love Ernie. You know what he'd say, Rock, about a day like this? Let's play 2. That's what it says on the statue.
Statue out front.
Very prominent place for Mr. Cub out there, and that banner flies high.
What would Ronnie say?
Oh, geez, Pat.
You can't do that. He wouldn't be saying that this year too often.
We miss them both.
You just wish that Ronnie was around for this this season the Cubs are having. He would have been in his glory, wouldn't he?
Those two were so much fun to see at the ballpark, and they were here a lot. Obviously, Ron Santo was here doing the broadcast with Pat Hughes and Cubs radio. So you'd see him every day, sits right next to us. But then Ernie was here a lot. Ernie would come to the ballpark all the time.
Yeah.
You'd see him walking around on the field. And
Billy Williams.
Bryant. And a misfire from Cravey. Cravey working a scoreless inning in the 6th inning. Retired the side in order. Got his uniform dirty. Which is the goal of every player when you show up to the ballpark. Cravey had a nice little sliding play on a slow roller to first. This is a new Tyler Cravey we're seeing here, at least. Yeah, I'm not sure when he made this switch, because I talked to him before the game today and had a pretty lengthy conversation. He didn't say one thing about this. So this is new, the way he's spinning himself back, at least to my eyes. That's a base hit by Bryant. Into left center it goes, and Bryant with a single, his first hit.
Well, guys aren't really going to give up a lot of their secrets. Maybe see if you're going to notice the change, and I think he's going to be happy to know that you recognize that change right away.
Well, I hope I'm not mistaken. That's what my fear is that we haven't seen him in a while in the big leagues.
You know who you ask? Go down there, Sleep Tunnel after the game.
He'll tell you. Bullpen coach.
Or Derek Johnson.
Anthony Rizzo now with a man on, 1 out.
Oh, you know what I can do without making you feel. I could text Rick Sweet, the manager down in AAA.
Do that.
That way you won't be embarrassed if you're seeing things.
Oh, no, I won't be embarrassed for so long if I was seeing things. That's a good man, Rick Sweet.
Yeah.
Managing the Colorado Springs Ball Club in AAA. Big swing by Rizzo. No balls and 2 strikes on the Cubs slugger, who's 2 for 3 today. Go ahead. You should do that.
After the game, I will.
The whole game?
Well, this game. We'll be ready for game 2. How's that?
No. We got to do that faster, Rock. Rizzo pulls one foul. I mean, I'd give you 30 seconds if you'd like to do it now.
I could text Bob Scooby, the hitting coach.
There you go. He might know. This is the time for you to reach out to your sources. Your many sources.
Well, you were kind of getting on my case back in the homestand. Remember I was texting Bonnie?
Yeah, I was.
So now you want me to do it?
No, I like when I wasn't getting.
Okay.
I like when you do that.
Okay.
I love when you start engaging all your friends on your phone.
Will you do replay if I get caught?
Sure, I'll let you know. You're excused.
I'm in. R-I-C-K. I got it.
0-2 and a swing and a miss. Struck him out with a fastball.
Well, I tell you, he's getting that fastball by these guys. That one in 94. Starting to crank it up a little bit. Up in the zone, outer half, and Rizzo with a big swing.
You just took my replay.
Oh, I haven't started yet.
And you got to know, when Rock sends a text message, it's a bit of an ordeal, because those little numbers on the phone don't quite match up ergonomically with
what's ergonomically?
The bratwurst for fingers that Rock has to deal with. Yeah, see, he's not as nimble as that guy.
I do a lot of backspacing.
That guy's flying through. He could have had a text already sent to Rick Sweet and back.
No, I just sent it.
Okay. That didn't take long. Well, now we'll find out exactly where you stand with Rick Sweet on how fast that comes back. Greg Vaughn responded right away.
See, I'm getting the dots already.
Getting the bubbles.
I am.
Runner takes off, and the pitch is outside. To throw to second. Arcia made the catch, and out at second. Wow. Arcia makes the catch and applies the tag all in one motion. Cubs will certainly take a look at this one here, but the call was out, and if it holds up, the inning will end. Madden says it's good. Arcia. Oh, that was beautiful. What hands. Inning over. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers. It's Miller time. Cubs Brewers, game one of this doubleheader. 3-0 Chicago. They're shutting out Milwaukee. See that guy, Rock? See how he's working the thumbs there?
Yeah.
That's something you ought to try to implement instead of the index finger hunt and peck method that you're applying right now. Any word from Rick Sweet?
No, he stopped. He stopped typing. I think he deleted everything. He didn't want to give me any information. I was encouraged there for a second.
Manny Pena will lead off. How about Montgomery going back out there for a third inning now?
Yeah.
So with this day-night doubleheader, both managers trying to get to the finish line using minimal pitchers. The Brewers are being shut out. Trevor Cahill went 5 innings. Montgomery's back out there for his third, facing Pena to start it. Pena now the Brewers backup catcher, but he's getting some playing time. More playing time than Maldonado had as a backup to Lucroy. Pena into right. That's falling fast. That's going to get down. A base hit. And a single to start the inning. Brewers again with their lead man on back-to-back innings.
My first hit for the Brewers since the second inning. Cub pitching has been pretty good today. Able to dump one out there in the right field, right in front of Hayward.
And as Ryan Braun is announced as the pinch hitter in the pitcher spot coming up, Joe Madden is on his way to the mound. The 8th inning has been a trouble inning for the Cubs in the last 2 games. Those 2 games against the Cardinals, the Cubs allowed 11 8th inning runs. 6 runs Saturday, 5 runs Sunday. And here comes Rondon, the former closer, back out for the 8th. Man on, and Craig Counsell is going to make his bench play right now with Ryan Braun coming up. And how good has he been in the month of August? 11 games. He has 8 home runs in those 11 games. 19 RBIs. Making a strong bid for player of the month in the month of August in the major leagues.
And nobody hotter than the Brewers could use the long ball right here. Hector Rondon, 45th appearance for him this year. That 253 earned run average. He has allowed the 6 home runs.
So Montgomery goes 2+. Braun on the first pitch. A fly ball to center. And Fowler will make the play. 1 pitch. Braun is retired. 1 away in the inning. And Braun's game 1 appearance does not last long. Braun will be in the starting lineup for game 2. Counsell made that decision for him. He told him, you're going to sit in one of the 2 games today. You pick which one. And Counsell will have Braun in the lineup for the night game.
Yeah, take the night game. Yep.
There's a strike to VR. The Brewers have not had multiple base runners on in any inning thus far. They've only had a runner reach scoring position twice. Had a runner at third with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Runner at second in the 7th inning.
96, that last fastball.
About this time last year, Joe Maddon shut down Rondon for about a week, and he came back very strong. Brewers do not have a hit with a man on base. They're 0 for 7 and only have 3 hits today. All of them are singles. As VR takes a ball. That single by Pena to start the inning, the first since Neuenhuis's single with 2 outs in the 2nd. VR had a hit in the first, a base hit, single to center. That's been it. That is in the dirt and back to the screen, and Pena will advance to second on a wild pitch. Well, takes the Cubs out of a double play opportunity to end the inning.
You know, the second man in scoring position from Milwaukee, slider. Montero not able to handle it. And now a base hit should put the Brewers on the board. Get something going here.
Full count. VR gets jammed. That one pouring in on him. Matt Garza started this game, went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. Could have been a whole lot worse for Garza. Threw 103 pitches in 5 innings. 5 hits, 3 walks, struck out a couple. All 3 of the Cubs runs coming without the benefit of a hit. Down and in, ball 4. VR draws the walk. And for the first time today, the Brewers have 2 on. And you can tell Cubs fans sensing more 8th inning troubles.
Their tying run now comes to the plate. Rondon not missing by much on that last pitch.
Gave up a key home run to Stephen Piscotty, a 3-run shot on Sunday that gave the Cardinals the lead. Gave up 4 runs in that game Sunday. Arcia takes a ball.
I heard back from Rick Sweet, by the way.
Oh, did you? Good. What's the update?
Tyler Cravey had always pitched out of the stretch. He just started to pitch out of the windup. That's why it looks a bit unusual.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he gets the windup, he gets the full turn. I knew there was something up.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Rick, for answering that. And thanks to Rock as well for having such reliable friends. You're practically a journalist with your unnamed sources that are now named. Arcia pops it up. Took a big swing. Infield fly rule in effect. And the out is secured. 2 outs. That at bat really burned Arcia. You could tell by his reaction. He was not happy. Fired the bat on the ground.
Well, Rondon able to get in on his hands on a 1-0 count. He had just walked VR. He got behind in the count 1-0, and Arcia a little over aggressive in that situation. Didn't get his pitch.
So 2 outs now. Tying run at the plate in Jeanette. Tough day to hit one out of Wrigley today with the wind blowing in from right center. Spot where the Brewers have got to cash in here. 2 on, 2 away, and Jeanette takes a strike. Scooter is 0 for 3. We told you about the Brewers' home run streak, 17 straight games with a homer. They also have a 36 consecutive game extra base hit streak going that is on the line. Scooter would love run right here as this sellout crowd is on their feet. Nearly 42,000. Do it again. Another 1-2. 2 on, 2 out. Jeanette the tying run at the plate. Rondon misses outside. Little off-speed pitch. 2-2 the count.
Everything in on Jeanette. Trying to crowd him with that fastball. I should say away, not in.
And Jeanette pops this one up. Rondon got in on his hands. Foul territory. Bryant's got it, and the inning is over. And the Brewers strand a pair, and the Cubs survive the 8th. Still a shutout intact. You're on it. And Damian Magnifico is ready to make his major league debut here at Wrigley Field as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Craig Counsell is going to throw him into the middle of this Cubs order with Zobrist, Russell, and Coghlan coming up.
Yep, averaging pretty close to a strikeout per innings pitched down in the minor leagues. Yeah, the only real issue that he had was the walks. 29 walks, 54 punch outs, and just shy of 57 innings of work. And 17 saves down in AAA.
He has a great arm. He is 95 plus always. Magnifico, his first bullet comes in at 97.
I think he's pumped up a little bit.
I was just thinking the same thing. He has to be in full froth right now in front of a sellout crowd at Wrigley Field. Look at his major league debut. And you mentioned this on our Brewers Live pregame show and even on our open today, but this experience for all these young players, Craig Counsell is trying to take full advantage of what they can get by playing the Cubs right now in this ballpark with the way they played this year.
Yeah, there's not really a comparable venue right now on the road for the Brewers to be able to, have these young guys experience, playoff type atmosphere, a very loud, excited crowd, and they're going to learn a lot from this series. They really are, each and every one of them.
3 balls, no strikes. And that one misses. So a 4-pitch walk. Zobrist reaches. And that's how the major league career of Magnifico begins.
Yeah, they're not going to help him. Not this Cubs team. They walk a lot. #1 in walks in the National League. And going to make him throw strikes.
Addison Russell. Yeah, a little breaking ball to maybe help him get on track. It's not a bad idea by Pena back there. Pena's been his catcher in AAA, so there's a little familiarity with his battery mate. I'm sure it helps Magnifico. He told Craig that very thing earlier.
Probably helped Cravey too.
A lot of familiar players. Pena said, "Hey man, I understand. I just did it myself. Take a deep breath." Magnifico is 25 years of age. He's from the Dallas area. Went to Mesquite High School and then went to a JUCO and then ended up at the University of Oklahoma. He fires one to first. Close play over there. Zobrist just back. A lot of times pitchers with this kind of arm are starting pitchers in the minor leagues, and then they end up transitioning to the bullpen as they get to the major leagues. But the Brewers have had Magnifico pegged as a reliever the last 2 seasons. And that hit him. They're calling it a foul ball. Nope, he's saying it hit him.
Yeah.
And Russell is aboard.
Yeah, Craig Counsell wants to go out and have a chat about that call. Well, so he got him. Did it get him on the elbow?
It definitely hit him. The question is, was it a swing? Because if it's a swing, the swing counts first.
I don't think he swung.
Yeah, he's able to check it.
No, he didn't swing. And so he got him on the forearm or the elbow, one of the two.
Very similar to how Shin-Soo Choo broke his forearm yesterday for the Rangers. There's 2 kind of hitters at the plate on how they take pitches. There's the kind that turn in, like a Ryan Braun, who turns in back towards the catcher on a pitch inside, and then the hitters that are leaning anyway, and then they turn with everything exposed, like a Carlos Gomez or a Gene Segura. And both had a lot of injuries. Ricky Weeks was like that, and he had some hand injuries. I suppose it's just instinct and hard to change. But you certainly want to try to be the kind of hitter that turns in toward the catcher on a pitch inside.
Yeah, get it on the back or even on the shoulder.
Pena mishandles that one, and both runners will advance.
Now Derek Johnson going to go out and try and calm him down.
Be a wild pitch.
It was a slider that again just bouncing just a little bit in front of Pena, not able to handle it. We saw that earlier and scored a run.
Second and third with nobody out.
Hey, kids 14 and under are in for a very special day at the ballpark on Sunday, August 28th, as the Brewers take on the Pirates. Not only will they get a Brewers chest protector backpack courtesy of Quick Trip, they'll also enjoy a free lunch, compliments of Pick and Save, Blue Bunny, and Heinz. Kids eat free Sunday.
Kids and broadcasters.
That's our favorite day. Tim Shea comes around with a big box of snow cones and ice cream cones, and yeah, he loves it.
Broadcasters eat multiple times for free on Sunday. All right, a quick visit by Johnson. Here's Coughlin with the infield in. And Magnifico having some command problems here in his major league debut.
Yeah, not surprising though, isn't it? Kind of amped up at his first major league appearance, and he's already a guy that has had issues with control. Walked a lot of guys down in the minor leagues.
There's a strike. 98 with that fastball. This is a guy we've heard a lot about, been anxious to see. Saw a little bit of him in the spring. Closer in Double-A Biloxi 2 years ago, the closer in Colorado Springs this year. Had 20 saves last year, had 17 with only 3 blown saves this year. Maybe most remarkably, only 1 home run allowed at Triple-A Colorado Springs this season. A home run hitter's paradise. Coughlin in the right. Falling fast. Perez will make the catch. Runner's going to tag at third. The throw comes in. A hop, a tag. Safe at the plate. Wow. Great throw from Perez, but Zobrist scores.
Well, that is one heck of a throw by Hernan Perez. He gets rid of it quickly. That was a perfect one-hop strike to home plate. And Carlos Torres, the home plate umpire, says that Zobrist got the foot in there. Well, looks like he did. Good call. I don't know. Maybe Craig Townsend wants him to look at it.
I think he does, because as we've talked about and looked at a number of times, when you go into home plate, it is so hard to keep your foot down on the plate. And as soon as he hit the ground, his lead foot popped straight up. I don't think he ever made contact with the plate.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the plate beat him. The question is, or the foot got into home plate before the tag. Question is the foot down?
I think this is a rule they're going to have to look at, Rock. I think it's asking a lot of a player to make a slide. Now, remember, on the bases, the base is risen up, so it's easier to make contact with a base. But home plate's level with the ground. I think you're putting the player at more risk for injury when you ask him to dig that foot in.
Dig that heel into the play. You turn an ankle. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think that the age of replay has certainly been a little bit ticky-tack with some of these calls, but yeah, that's what the umpires are asked to do. Hard to tell on that angle. I saw, the angle behind home plate was the best one. This one right here, is the foot down? It certainly looks like the foot is down. I mean, it looked like it the first time we saw it. You're talking about fractions of inches off the plate, if that. And you're right. I mean, that's not the purpose of replay.
I'm just waiting on players to start running through home plate. I still think that's a more difficult tag and a more difficult out. And if you apply by the theory that you can run through a base faster or home plate faster than slide in.
And the only reason you didn't before was because catchers had the ability to block home plate. They don't anymore.
Right, you could just run right on through.
Why not just run right through? You're right. Ryan Braun has said that over and over again.
So this is synced up and the foot's in the air. I don't know. That may be too tough to overturn. Because you know, from your catching perspective in your big league days, what's a more difficult tag? A guy sliding in or a guy who's running straight through?
You don't have as much to tag when he's standing up running through.
So after a challenge, call comes in as safe. That'll be a sacrifice fly for Coughlin, and a run is in. Call on the field stands. It is 4-0 Cubs.
And it doesn't take away from the throw by Hernan Perez, and he has really been impressive with his throws into the infield out there from right field.
Runner at second with 1 out. And here is Hayward. I think every ballpark now has some kind of overhead look at home plate. And if you break the plane of home plate, it should matter whether your foot hits it or not. I think it's my opinion because of the injury factor. It's basically the law of verticality, like you'd see in the NBA goaltending. Or I agree. It's too much to ask for a player to keep his foot down. I think it's difficult enough to keep your foot down on a base,
especially when they slide head first. Sometimes the body will not stay in contact with the bag, and you see outs called because of that, and that's ridiculous. But that's the way it is. That's what replay is. It all started with the boundary calls. You got what you asked for. I hope you're happy. It's all your fault.
Yeah. You meaning Bud Selig. That's who you were referencing.
I hate to say I told you so, but that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, but
I agree. Yeah, I think it's going way overboard, but it doesn't matter what I think.
Sure it does. I love when you get fired up about replay, especially in a 4-0 game in the first of a doubleheader. Fly ball center field. And Broxton will make the catch. By the way, Rock, the second game of this doubleheader is tonight. Day-night doubleheader. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Rock will have a fantastic pregame hit for you at 6:30. Jason Hamill and Chase Anderson on the mound tonight.
Chase Anderson back at Miller Park early in the year almost no-hit the Cubs. Had a no-hitter in the 8th inning. Let's see if that happens again.
Let's see here. That's almost 3:15. 6:30 is airtime for the second game. We're going to have to find something to do.
Maybe we can head back to Milwaukee for an hour.
See if we could make it back. The Miller Park Challenge. Of course, if this game had been played at Miller Park in April, we wouldn't be in this situation, because there's a beautiful roof. Montero with 2 away and a runner at second. Damian Magnifico making his major league debut. And a walk and a hit batter to start, has settled in since. He's got a live arm, doesn't he?
He's got a quick release, kind of a short armor, which makes it a little bit difficult to pick the pitch up. And just flies out of his hand. He's got a good release, good backspin, good finish on it.
Has a Jason Mott type delivery to him. Throws it like a catcher almost, right? Short arms it.
Makes that little circle out of the glove and comes at you quickly.
Well, he's in the big leagues. No matter how this outing goes, you'll never forget your first. 2-1 the count. And Montero drives one to right. Wind is blowing in, and it stays in the ballpark. Fortunately, a run is in for the Cubs. All 4 of their runs have scored without the benefit of a hit. Brewers baseball this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And we go to the 9th inning. The Cubs are shutting out the Brew Crew 4-0. As we go to the Brewer half of the 9th, changes for Joe Madden. Ben Zobrist will go from second base to left field. Javier Baez enters the game at second as Madden tightens up his infield defense. And a ground ball pitcher on the mound. By the way, Contreras in to catch for Montero. And you got Joe Smith, who the Cubs acquired from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And he is on the mound to pitch tonight. This is a guy that the Cubs would like to get going a little bit.
Yeah, he's given up 3 home runs in just 3 1/3 innings with the Cubs this year. That's 5 appearances. They picked him up on August 1st for a minor leaguer. Had 6 saves with the Angels this year and 38 relief appearances.
Chris Carter takes strike 1 from Smith. Carter hit by a pitch his last time up, then stole a base. Went all stealth on him and stole a base. Getting into the Brewers major league leading stolen base act. Carter with his 3rd steal of the season.
Yeah, with that run the Cubs scored, it kept Aroldis Chapman on the sidelines for now.
Joe Smith has had some command problems. Emerged at one point this year as the closer for the Angels. And they had high hopes for him. He had a great year last year. But he has not been able to have the same kind of command as he did last season, and it's been a struggle for him. Cubs are hoping a little jump start with a new organization, but he walks a first batter. Carter is aboard.
And one more base run, it becomes a save situation. You'll see Aroldis Chapman in the game.
Well, that's a primary goal for the Brewers. Try to get Chapman in the game with a doubleheader today. Don't make this so easy on the Cubs.
Right. Well, he's already been loosening up. He loosened up last inning, and now he's up again here in this inning.
As a play by Bryant gets the out at second. The turn not in time, but a heck of a play by Chris Bryant.
Not just a hitter. He can play. Yeah, big, tall Third baseman has got a long wingspan, a dive, able to smother it and get the out at second base. And almost able to turn two.
Great play by Bryant. He and Rizzo both have had gems today defensively. One away. Here's Kurt Neuenhuis now. Smith's walks per 9 innings have been the story with the Cubs since he has arrived here. He's made now 6 appearances. He's averaging over 5 walks per 9. Small sample size, but that's been the heart of his problems. He saved 15 games for the Angels in 2014. One and 2 the count.
That sidearm slider, when he drops down like that, just his basic release point. Not a lot of sink on it, but it's kind of one of those roundhouse breaking pitches. Particularly tough on right-handed hitters.
Neuenhuis fouls it away. We first saw Joe Smith with the Mets. And then he had 5 seasons in Cleveland before he ended up with the Angels. Free agent year for Smith this season. Neuenhuis fouls it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count remains. One thing the Cubs liked about Smith, at least feeling like they could have him in a role here to get him jump started, is he does have postseason experience. Always better to have been there. Smith pitched in the postseason for the Indians in 2013. That was a 1-game wild card game against Tampa Bay. And then he had a couple of outings for the Angels in 2014. Angels were swept by the Royals that year. But he's been there before. Neuenhuis trying to keep the line moving here. The Brewers have already used Braun as a pinch hitter. Broxton is on deck, and Neuenhuis fouls it back.
They keep fouling off pitches. Neuenhuis has had a number of pitches that hit in this at bat. I mean, a lot of pitches down the middle. But an unusual release point. Takes getting used to.
Pitch number 9 coming. Good battle with Neuenhuis. That's way inside.
And that will see Chapman.
So 2 walks in the inning. And here comes Joe Madden. And here comes Aroldis Chapman. Save situation with the tying run on deck. And one of the more significant trade acquisitions is coming in. Pitching change at Wrigley. Smith is out. Chapman coming in. here with 2 on. 4-0 Cubs lead it. Joe Smith is out, and now Joe Maddon's going to go to his hammer as his closer. A roll to Chapman.
Yep, a 5-player deal brought Chapman over to the Chicago Cubs from the Yankees back on July 25th. Excellent numbers for Chapman, 24 out of 26 combined between the Yankees and the Cubs.
The hardest thrower ever recorded in the StatCast era of Major League Baseball. 2 on, 1 out. Broxton takes a fastball high. It's hard to imagine that Chapman would ever run across anybody in the history of the game that would throw harder, not having seen a lot of the big velocity pitchers of yesteryear. But as far as the recordable data, he hit 105 miles an hour. And that's the fastest pitch ever recorded in that manner.
And Brewers saw a guy, kid Cabrera with the Atlanta Braves that can get it up there over 100. A right-hander.
2 on, 1 away. Runners go. Broxton takes, and a double steal. So the Brewers aggressive here. Perez and Neuenhuis both credited with no, I beg your pardon, they're just announcing no stolen base. That's crazy.
Yeah, well,
how do you call that no stolen base? All right, 2nd and 3rd. 2-1 is the count. And a swing and a miss. Broxton with a big cut.
101 with that fastball.
Chapman in his career against Milwaukee has 1 blown save, and it came 3 years ago today. Got him. The cheese from Chapman, and the 2nd out.
You can see where those last 2 pitches were, literally right down the middle of that last one, but with the big velocity, very difficult to get a piece of that pitch.
I'll never forget that. The 1 blown save that we're talking about. That was Jonathan Lucroy, who homered. I believe it was a 9 or 10 pitch at bat. Finally got a slider, and he hit one out to left. That was 3 years ago on this date.
Yep, at Miller Park.
It's the only blown save for Chapman. He's 18 out of 19. Here's Pena now. And a fastball strike at 100. A get over fastball. Second and 3rd. Way outside. How about this play by Contreras?
The ball was by him.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's 100 up and away. One ball, 1 strike. Pena trying to get one here, and that's way outside again. Another one at 100 miles an hour.
Let's see if the Brewers can get that tying run to the plate. Just for giggles, huh? Get that tying run to the plate. Maldonado on deck.
Who's a guy that can hit a fastball, by the way.
Yeah.
2-1 to count. And Pena had a big swing. He fouls it away. And now the count 2-2, and the Brewers are a strike away.
Well, does Chapman go with a slider? Been all fastballs from Chapman since he's come in. You get geared up for that 100+ mile-an-hour heater if he throws that slider for a strike. Of course, we said that when Lucroy was up 3 years ago. Knocked it out of the ballpark.
It's the man who's in the big leagues for Lucroy after the trade. Pena way inside, almost hit him. 3-2 the count. 103 miles per hour. It takes a beat here in the ballpark to put up the velocity. When they do, you can hear the crowd ooh and awe.
That's a heck of a play by Contreras.
All right, full count, 2 outs. Chapman deals and a swing and a foul. Pena's hanging tough.
That's a pitch you can handle if it's down in the zone. Much easier to get a bat on it when it's knees than it is up around the belt at that speed.
Brewers have only 3 hits today. They have not had a hit with a man on base. They're 0 for 11. They're 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And they're going to have to do it against one of the game's best closers in Aroldis Chapman. Three-two pitch. Little jam shot. Pop up. Contreras makes a catch. And the inning is over. And the game is over as the Cubs win. A 4-0 shutout for Chicago. Aroldis Chapman with the save. And the Brewers drop the opener of this day-night doubleheader. Jeff Grayson standing by in our Fox Sports Wisconsin studios. It's time for Brewers Live. Take it away, Jeff.